no, Nick, no. You were talking about prom earlier, right? Well, this is
Yeah.
when like all of the dates are already taken and you have to take like your cousin to prom
Oh.
or your mom to prom. Like
Oh.
this was hey, we want Ben Johnson or who's the Lions OC?
Yeah, Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson. Okay. We want Ben Johnson. Well,
He said no.
first off, it was Bill Belichick. Remember, he
Yeah.
was connected to the Commanders even during the season. Like, okay, he's going to be out in New England and go right to Washington. But you're right. No one wants to give him full control. So, okay, he's out. Ben Johnson, you're our guy. We're going to wait for your run in the playoffs to be over, whenever that is, and you're our guy. No. Ben Johnson says, I'm just going to stay in Detroit. I'm going to be an OC a little bit longer. All right, Dan, I guess you're up. Let's go. Like, it 100%. He was their bronze medal. He was their third choice out of 3 candidates. Like, he is, you can call it whatever you want. Like, yeah, they had a really bad defense and maybe he can turn it around, but he was not their first choice or their second choice.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Or maybe even their third choice.
That's fair. That's
because
totally
I heard Mike McDonald also had an offer from Washington too.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
So he was their 4th choice.
But
how do you feel good about this if you are a Washington football team fan?
Because, Sean, we have grown up and started to follow the NFL very closely in an era in which the Browns had to settle for Mike Pettin. Dan Quinn's been a head coach, and he's a good defensive coordinator. He's not Mike Pettin. He's not Pat Shurmur. Like, not to rail on the Browns too much, but that's just 2 of the bad hires that they've made in the last 15 years.
So that's your argument. It could be worse?
It could be worse. Yes. This is also new ownership. They don't know what the hell they're doing either. Might as well go hire
At least
the guy
it's not
that was
Dan Quinn.
Name.
It could
Dan
be
Quinn
worse.
won an NFC championship at one time with Kyle Shanahan as his play caller, but still, he was a great defensive coordinator with the Seahawks. I don't know. Lemon Bendy, I actually really like this contribution from him. They just went from one B- former NFC South coach to another. Both Quinn and Rivera had coordinators, Shanahan and Sean McDermott, in their Super Bowl runs who left, succeeded, and left their former teams in the dust. That is a good point. And that's a very big paragraph, so I'm going to take it off the screen because you can barely see me and Sean. But that is a great point, Lemon Bendy. And I think a lot of the Falcons' success in 2016 had to do with Kyle Shanahan. We've seen what he's done with the 49ers since then. McDermott, I'm not as high on. But still, he was just doing a really good job as a coordinator. And if he builds out a staff that can match that production in Washington, then I still think it's not a bad hire. I think the worst decision Washington made wasn't hiring Dan Quinn, wasn't even firing Ron Rivera. It wasn't even starting Sam Howell for the whole season. It was trading Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Like, now you're asking Dan Quinn to come in and turn around a defense that you just eliminated their best 2 defenders. Maybe Deron Payne also has a place in that conversation from this group. Of course they were bad down the stretch. You took away their 2 top edge rushers and traded them away for future picks. So now the onus is on the person who's making the player personnel decisions. Make the right picks. Give this guy tools to succeed, and don't pin him as a scapegoat 2 years from now when you're still bad. You don't have a quarterback. You lost both your top edge rushers because you knew you couldn't pay everybody, and you hired a veteran coach. This is probably the best situation. You don't throw a rookie coach in that situation. You know he's going to fail. So you might as well put a retread in there who's coming off a good couple of seasons as a coordinator. And you just say, all right, well, we hope for the best. We got to go. Now let's go figure out quarterback. That's what I think. It could be much worse. Could be much worse, Sean.